Good Tuesday morning, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you guys are getting up, getting at it, and having a great start to your morning. I thought I'd hit you with another morning forecast of what's going to happen specifically just for today. And like I said, I'm going to do this while the weather is kind of slow just to keep the content rolling. These videos do not take much time, much effort, but I like to communicate with you guys and talk with y'all. And like I said, you always keep it personal and keep y'all updated. At the very end of this video, I will mention kind of a teaser of what we'll talk about tonight. They have dropped a 15% risk of severe weather for the Saturday to Sunday morning time frame for areas of the Midwest. We'll very briefly talk about that. But if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. The views have definitely decreased, which was really expected here. Seems like the same exact thing happened last year around this time as today is the first day of meteorological spring. I always struggle with that word, which I shouldn't because I'm a big weather fan, but I always do. It's definitely a tough one to get out. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate people who continue to tune in regardless of if the weather's active or not. Y'all's support goes a long way. I also want to mention, if you guys have ever considered joining my channel, the tab's right there. It's just a way to help financially each month. It's not a lot, but it does go a long way, especially in these slow periods. So appreciate the ongoing support regardless. Thank y'all for everything. If y'all guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below so we all can pray for one another here. So let's get rocking here. What's going on this morning, really, and I'll back it up here. I'm a little bit too far ahead. It's a pretty chilly morning across the eastern U.S. I'm going to talk about you western U.S. Folks also. But today really jump starts that warming trend. Really, it started yesterday. It was a really nice day yesterday across a lot of the middle part of the country and the southern part of the country. But this is around high temperatures. I really think you'll see a lot of 70s across the Carolinas today, but of course it's at that battleground. You guys are definitely going to warm up in the Northeast overall, but Boston points north into Maine, where I do expect some snow in New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine a little bit later this afternoon and evening. You guys remain cold, where y'all actually can get a couple inches of snow later this evening into overnight. But look at the Midwest, warming up big time, well into the 70s, all the way up into Nebraska. Very nice weather. And it's going to be a nice day too. No real moisture expected anywhere, and I'll show y'all that here in a second. But pretty cold air mass, still all bottled up in Canada, so it's going to remain pretty chilly, but nothing super cold compared to average for even this time of the year, even though we're in March 1st. So chilly conditions remain. It's still locked into winter up here, but look at the boundary here in South Dakota. Here in the northeast part of the state, you're locked into the 30s and 20s, but if you go down to the southwest part of the state, you're in the 70s. It's because you have basically a stationary trough setting up here with a northern jet. It's really pumping out some pieces of energy throughout here, but you remain cold up in this region. When you go into the western U.S., you guys will warm up nicely today too. Basically, I would say 80% of the country is above average temperature-wise as we roll into later this week. Well, throughout most of the work week, not the weekend. The weekend changes. We'll talk about that later this evening as we did last night. But getting into this afternoon, I mean, you're pushing 80 degrees in LA. You're into the 60s and 70s in San Francisco. The valleys up into the 50s, maybe even 60. Even the mountaintops, there's going to be a lot of snow melting over the next couple days. Y'all warm substantially. And just above average temperatures in general for most of the western U.S. I mean, it's going to be a nice day. The only folks that are going to struggle today is the Pacific Northwest, where you guys will get that atmospheric river where you have a spin off the coast that's basically pumping continuous moisture into you folks in like Seattle, for example, and even areas of northern Oregon. So you guys are still going to deal with some rain. I don't think y'all are going to deal with near as much rain as y'all dealt with yesterday and yesterday evening, for example. But as far as temperatures, anomalies for high temperatures today, you're well above average in the middle of the country. You're above average even in the eastern U.S. The only area in the eastern U.S. that may be below average temperature-wise is Maine, and that's because y'all are going to be dealing with some snow today, but not very far, maybe a couple degrees below average for your average temperatures. And I know I just say average here and thinking, well, Mitch, what is my average temperature? I don't know for your specific area. I know for me here in the Midlands of South Carolina, your average temperatures are starting to tick in the upper 50s and low 60s. So we will be above average compared to that today, as we have forecast highs pushing 70 here locally where I live, but not everybody is locally where I live. But very warm in the western U.S. in general. And just like I said, easily 85% of the country above average temperature wise. And this is what happens when you have a pretty zonal flow, meaning, all the bottled air, cold air is really up in Canada, and really even Canada is not that cold either. As far as what it looks like as far as precipitation today, not a whole lot going on except the Northwest, where y'all are going to still be dealing with some rain showers, some snow in the higher terrain. Really, that's about it. You got to get pretty high up to see snow, because even the snow levels are pretty high right now. But as we're getting later in the afternoon, low pressure, starts scooting along this northern stream piece of energy, as it's still aggressive up here, and along it a low pressure will kind of form, but really you can just call this a clipper. And this brings some more snow for the interior northeast. And really it's warm enough for all rain for areas of southern New York State and Pennsylvania. But Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and far northern sections of New York State, you guys will actually be dealing with a few inches of snow, maybe several inches of snow later this afternoon and evening as the low pressure moves through and gives y'all some snow. And in fact, here's what the HRRR model is showing through 11 p.m. this evening, so it's still snowing in a lot of these areas, but you already got a few inches of snow on the ground through 11 p.m. this evening, Eastern Standard Time. So this will pad some stats here in the interior northeast and give y'all some more snow for the ski resorts for sure. So I'll briefly mention this, and that's about it, guys, for the day. Pretty quiet weather day, and will continue throughout the week. There's a 15% chance of severe weather in this little yellow area. And this is really for, let me get confused here, Saturday morning into Sunday morning. So for that 24-hour span. And really, guys, you have a mixture between really okay thermodynamics, which we're talking about CAPE. With thermodynamics, we're talking about surface moisture and surface temperatures. It's not even decent. It's like okay. So you don't have a lot to work with as far as that, but kinematics as far as wind energy, that is going to be heightened as you're going to have a 40 to 50 knot low-level jet over this. So I really think this is going to be a wind-driven severe weather threat here for Saturday. I really think that. I think you're going to have storms that have a chance to really produce some damaging winds. That includes areas like Des Moines, but in central Iowa, maybe even northern Missouri. So we'll continue to watch this to see how it goes. We'll talk about this more tonight. But you see that low-level wind field setting up here when you got that 40 to 50, maybe 60 knot jet as we're getting into Saturday evening for this range. So be careful. We are on March 1st, so severe weather begins to quickly escalate, and you start to get a lot more chances. Dew points, as you can tell, dew points only in the 50s in this area that has a risk for severe weather. So that's that thermodynamic, those dew points, surface moisture just really isn't there. But we'll see how it works. You can still get wind threat even when you don't have a lot of surface moisture to deal with. So we'll continue to monitor this. We'll talk about this more tonight. And if maybe a couple of days going forward gets introduced with the 15% risk. But that's all I got, guys. Hope you guys have a blessed day, an awesome day. Keep it positive. I know I'm feeling good this morning, a lot better than I was 24 hours ago. Some days are better than others, and that's just how life rolls. But hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you all this evening. God bless.